Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back to the Moments Podcast. Unfortunately, I recorded this episode 2 weeks ago, and now I'm just making this little fill-in part to tell you guys why this is unfortunate. So in this episode, I'm so excited because I'm talking about how the Moments merch is launched, and unfortunately, it is not launched yet. It is going to be launched in 5 days from now, though. So Saturday, August 20th, the Moments merch is launching. We crossed a bunch of technical difficulties and just some struggles getting everything ready for, packaging, fulfillment, all that good stuff that I did not know was so much work. Anyways, you guys know how I roll. I'm always running late anyways, so it's pretty on brand for me to push back the launch date. But if you hear me talking about how excited I am for it, I still am. It's just not out today. It is going to be out August 20th. But I still wanted to share this episode with you because I do think there's a lot of great advice in here. And I want you guys to hear from Lissette and me and I want to talk it out. So I love you guys and I hope you enjoy the episode. Hold out because August 20th, Moments merch is coming and it's happening live and you'll be able to find it on my website and we will talk about it again then. All right. I love you guys. Enjoy. Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back to the Moments Podcast. Before I even get into today's episode or what we're going to be talking about or who's here with me, today is a really, really huge, awesome, amazing day, and I'm so excited for it. The Moments merch just launched, and you guys know I don't want to call it merch, but we're going to call it merch. Can I get a round of applause from the audience? Woo, woo, woo. Okay. Thank you. I know, it's exciting. Anyways, this is just such a huge day, and I'm so excited, and since I'm so excited, I have a very celebratory guest who is my favorite person who makes me just as excited as Moments merch, and her name is
Lissette.
You guys know and love her. She's my sister from another mister. She's literally the person who's been in my life probably the longest ever besides my own family. And she hasn't been on the podcast since November.
Yeah.
That's actually insane. Anyways, she's back better than ever. Last time she was on the podcast, she got an internship offer. And now it just ended.
Yeah, so crazy full circle there.
Crazy full circle moment. And didn't we record an advice episode last time too? Or did we talk about something else?
It was like about friendship. So, kind of advice, yeah?
Yeah, advice, friendship, all of the above, all the good stuff. Anyways, today we're just going to be doing I put on my Instagram story, you guys know, what do you guys want us to talk about? What do you need advice on? So we're just gonna go through those things. And I love to record these episodes with someone, especially with Lissette, because we have very different minds. So our advice on these things is very different. So it kind of, what's the word I'm thinking of?
It's like we reach not really wider audience, but it's more of like different people who might be thinking differently. We get both sides of it.
Exactly. There's people who think like me and people who think like Lissette. And obviously there's people in between, but I think for the most part, there's people like me and people like Lissette. So we're going to get into that, but before I do that, I'm just letting you guys know I'm recording this podcast way ahead of time. Like while this is getting posted, I'm home, but I was just in Greece. It's complicated.
Yeah.
It's a little bit complicated because I'm about to go to Greece tomorrow. I'm going for 10 days. I recorded the episode that came out last Monday and the one that's coming out right now. It's a little messy and confusing, but I just didn't want to be super overwhelmed or stressed in Greece because it's a brand trip and I want to focus on that. I don't know if this episode is going to be short or long, depends what kind of vibe me and Lissette are feeling, and if we have any words of wisdom or if our brains decide to turn off. So we're going to get into it. Lissette, anything you want to say just to start us off?
Go buy some merch. I mean, come on, it's all good stuff. I've seen it all, and I'm excited.
She actually hasn't seen it because we don't have.
Well, I haven't. You showed me on the online version.
She saw the online
not
version.
The real life version.
I'm like, where'd you get it? Let me see it. No, but it's actually been super complicated because I was supposed to get these samples actually before I went on the first trip to St. Martin, not too long ago. But I guess you guys don't need all these details. I was supposed to get the samples already, and I haven't gotten them yet, which is a little bit frustrating because it's very difficult to ship things overseas, and I really think it would be sick to get some pictures of the merch in Greece. So whether you guys see me posting on my story up in the merch in Greece, that's how you know if I got my samples or not. If not, it's still going to be awesome. It's still going to be great, and everything happens for a reason. Not sure how I got into that topic. I think that was just an update. I don't know. Let's just get into the advice. We're just going to get into all of this advice. And Lissette wrote a nice, beautiful little list for me while I was packing. Since I was only home for 24 hours, while I was packing, she went through the story, wrote down the things that we want to talk about, and we're just going to get into it.
All right.
First one. Oh, I really like this one. I have barely even looked at this list. I just glanced at it. How do you be so consistent, and how do you stick to a goal? Like, along those lines. And I'll just go first because this one is super... What are you giggling for over there?
Because I'm trying to think of things.
For me, this one is like kind of a difficult thing to navigate because I think for the most part I'm pretty consistent, but I also struggle a lot with staying consistent in like small everyday things. But when I have a goal or I have a dream, I never let it leave my mind, and I think that's the most important thing. Like if it is a real goal or a real dream, it's going to be important enough to you that you are going to stay consistent with it. And obviously life is going to throw a bunch of, excuse my language, it's going to throw a bunch of shit at you, and it's going to set you off track, and it's going to throw you in the other direction. I've been there, I've done that. It's not always ideal, but again, it's cliche, it's cheesy. Everything is happening for a reason, and the timing of everything is supposed to happen the way it is. Like, same thing with the fact that I've been working on this, I seriously hate calling it merch. I've been working on this Moments launch since January. The idea has been in my head since last year, but I started working on it in January, and the launch date is in August. So things take time. The best things in life take time, and I don't know. If it's important enough to you, it is going to be easy to stay consistent with it and keep it a goal, I think. Like, that's the way I see it. But
I mean, I think if you're trying to be consistent and stuff, just every day, try to do something that helps you get towards that goal, even if it's something small. Like, I mean, I can't even think of something right now. But
that was good.
Yeah. Well, I was actually on LinkedIn Learning, and
guys, fun fact for Lissette's internship, if you guys don't know, this is another reason it's so fun to do a podcast with her, because as much as we're so similar, we have totally different goals and like totally different passion projects and lives. Like, our lives are going in completely different directions, which is honestly such a sad, hard pill to swallow. Obviously, it's not going to push us apart. That's not allowed, but it is definitely pushing us in like opposite directions. So point of that was that she is an accountant, and she was doing her internship. And what'd you have to do?
Well, it's basically when we had downtime, or like summers are very slow, so if there was any downtime, I would go on LinkedIn Learning, and there's so many different topics on there. So I mean, that's also a good place to look for certain things.
It's kind of like TED Talks.
Yeah, no, it really is. A lot of it is podcast too. And there's one about like 6 things that successful people do in the morning, and it's not successful defined by money or anything. It's just success in everyone's own eyes. And
isn't that such a cool thing? How success is different to everyone.
Yeah, but the 6 morning things were, I forget exactly what it was called, but for the most part, it was just you write down what you want to do, and every day do something towards that goal.
I like that. I think whether it's what
I think it was that. It was something on LinkedIn Learning. I don't know if it was specifically that one, but I know that one stood out to me, in that specific advice stood out to me too. So,
but here's the thing: whether it was on LinkedIn Learning or not, it's a good point, and I like
exactly.
it. Exactly. Take note of that. Write that down. Write that shit down if you're taking notes. I gotta stop cursing. I've been cursing a lot in the past episodes. I didn't even notice what you just did. I know. See, we're bad. We're bad influences. Yeah. I guess that's really it. Just whether it's fake it till you make it, okay? A lot of things aren't going to be able to happen right away, especially these big goals. And I've talked to you guys about how one day I want to film a documentary. Obviously, that's not something I'm capable of doing right now, because when I do it, I want to give it 100% and I want to do it right. And with everything going on in my life and so many different priorities, that's not something I can put my energy into right now, but it's still a goal of mine. And I still make sure to constantly just, if I think of something I want to do with the documentary, I write it in my notes, and then it never escapes you. Whenever you go to your notes, you're reminded of what your true dreams are. So it helps you hold on to it. But I think that's our tips. Yeah. There's our advice on that. We're gonna move on to the next one, because dang, we talked about that for a while.
I know.
Go
that
us.
Was good.
Wow, killing it. All right, let's see. That was just the first one. Okay, getting out of a toxic friend group. You want to go first? This is a really hard thing.
Yeah, I think the first step is to notice that you are in a toxic friend group, which seems that's already the case.
The first step to knowing you have a problem is admitting it.
Exactly. So now you just have to try to distance yourself from those people and realize what they're gaining or taking from you, and
protect your energy.
Yeah.
The thing is with toxic friendships, and where I feel like I would explain my advice for this differently depending on how old you are. Because I know that when I was like 15, 16, 17, there were a lot of, and I don't know how old the person was that commented this, but I know that a lot of people listening are in that age group. And obviously I'm not that much older than you, but I have been that age. So what I dealt with a lot was just a lot of people in high school had these little friend groups where honestly they just thrived on talking about other people, whether it's outside of the friend. Yes, gossiping. I totally, that word like was not in my brain at all. And they just talk about people within the friend group or outside of the friend group, and there was almost always drama. And I will say, when you're in high school, it is kind of hard to avoid those situations. And I went through this really weird phase in high school. I don't think it was a weird phase. I guess it was just a good thing. This was my senior year. Lissette had left me. I was in this friend group that I had never really been in a friend group because it was always just me and Lissette. Like we were the friend group, so there wasn't much drama there. But when this group would just start talking bad about people, I would literally leave. And my other really good friend Courtney was like in that group too. And I don't know. I hated it. Like whenever they were talking at lunch and they were started talking crap on other people, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom or whatever. Just try to do things to keep yourself out of it, because it's easy to get sucked in. It's easy to get caught up on what other people are saying about other people or just all that jazz. So if you're 16, 17, just try to be aware of who you're hanging out with and what they're saying about other people. And if you can understand that I guess you do understand that they're toxic. But if, say you're in a friend group and you didn't notice that yet, and I just said that and it clicked something for you, be aware of it. But as far as leaving a toxic friend group, just
start by distancing yourself.
Not
hanging out with them when you don't need to be hanging out with them. There's really not many times you do. And start to branch out and try to meet new people.
That's the key.
So, because obviously you're not going to want to just leave this friend group and then
sometimes
feel
it's
alone.
hard to just ditch everyone.
Yeah, exactly. It's scary and whatever. So try to meet people who are authentic and you actually get along with and are real people. And
as you get older, that sounds so, like, as time goes on, you'll notice that when you do meet the genuine people in your life, it becomes really, really easy to tell the difference between who wants something from you and who wants to be your friend because they love, like, whatever the case may be, it gets easy to tell who's good and who's bad. So just keep trusting your gut, listening to your intuition, and pay attention to what people say about other people. It's like, you'll be able to tell, I promise. But yeah, just start to distance yourself. Like Lissette said, she crushed that one. Let's move on, because I got nothing else on that. How to stop comparing. Oof, I talked about this a lot on last week's podcast, so we don't need to get too into it, but my simple quote when it comes to this is someone else's beauty never takes away from your own. That's like really my big thing on that one. You got anything?
I just saw something the other day. Now it's going to bother me. It was something like, I can't even think of it.
She lost it. Well, if it comes back.
Oh, it was like, no one can talk bad about you without your consent or something like that. No one can, like, you're letting them affect the way you're receiving this information. Ooh. You're letting them determine the way that
I like that.
But that's also good. That's more of like if someone's saying things about you, not so much comparing yourself, but I mean,
it still fits in the same. I guess you could put it in the same bracket. All of these things, and I've said this so many times before, when it comes to mental health, everything can fit under the same umbrella because it's all tied together somehow, some way. But as far as comparison, just understand that you are uniquely made. And another thing I like to think about when I catch myself comparing, which, don't get me wrong, a lot, like, it happens. You come from, Lissette comes from this line of ancestors that goes back hundreds and hundreds and literally forever. And I don't know, it brings me so much peace thinking about that, because I'm like, why would I want to change something that has been a part of, like, who I turned out to be for, like, generations on generations. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it does.
It's a cool thing to think about. And a lot of times when I catch myself doing stuff like that, when I shift the perspective into, like, whoa, trippy, that it helps me. And I think that that's one of those things. Moving on. Getting into the next thing is how to heal and make your dream life. I feel like that kind of, I'll dabble in this real quick.
Yeah, that's more of...
That's more up your alley. Another fun fact about me and Lissette is, like, I have had very open struggles with, like, getting freaking depresso and, like, just kind of going through, like, actual mental health stuff. Lissette's always just been pretty chill. I don't know how to describe it. Like, she just doesn't have issues. Like, I'm pretty normal in the head, I think. But, like, I come to Lissette with my stuff, she's like, it's not that, like, she doesn't say it's not that deep. Like, she actually, she hates when I say it's not that deep, but, like,
it makes me so mad.
She hates it.
Because it's like, she's like, degrading. Degrading's definitely not the right word. She's like making what I'm talking about seem as though it's not
like
worthy
it's not
enough.
that deep.
Yeah, like it makes it seem as though like my worries are just like that they're not important, and that's why it makes me so mad. I'm like, but it is for me. That's why I'm telling you this.
Yeah, and I understand, but a lot of times I try to only use it in cases I think are
like sarcastic.
Yes.
Yeah. But you've gotten better.
Thank you.
I called you out on it from the first time you said it, but.
Anyways, we're working on it. Okay. But, yeah, when I get deep about things, she usually can't really grasp, maybe, why I'm struggling. Or what the heck, like, why. So no, I know. Well, so does you're not that deep.
Yeah. I think it's just that, like, I can't relate, so it's hard for me to sympathize or empathize.
No, she's great. She doesn't, when I'm talking to her about what I'm going through, she's not like, well, that's stupid. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no.
She just is blessed. She don't be having these problems as much as I do. But how I got into that was basically saying, I think that I've had to heal a lot more than she's had to heal. And whatever the reasoning for that may be, my advice towards it is that's when it's your prime time to find yourself, because a lot of the times I've found myself in situations that I have to heal from are times that I was prioritizing other people and like just giving all of my energy into other people and kind of like what they thought about me and what they were doing and stuff like that. So where was I going? Okay, yeah. That is when you get to dive into yourself and figure out who you really are and who you actually want to surround yourself with and who you need to distance yourself from and what you need to spend your time doing and what you've been spending your time doing that has been to make other people happy. And I feel like that's when you really heal.
Yeah.
And that is like actually, I don't even feel like that. I know that is the case. And I am the biggest supporter of alone time and doing things that you enjoy all by yourself, because that's when you'll heal. And then that's, again, when you're alone, when you'll find that motivation to actually figure out what your dreams and passions are, and it'll slowly lead you to your dream life. It's not something that happens overnight, because trust me, I have not gotten to this point in my life overnight. I have gone through like so many waves of, wow, I hate this, life sucks, like what am I going to do with my life, I'm a failure, to, wow, I finally figured it out, like this is my dream, I'm going to be successful, I am successful in my own eyes. And it all aligns when you can learn to figure out who you really are. That's the first step to healing. That's the first step to creating your dream life. It's just the first step.
Yeah.
So maybe Lissette just always had that step figured out. Something like that. I think that's all we got now? Okay. Next one is, Lissette goes, we were reading, we like briefly glanced over this list and Lissette goes, I don't want to do the singleness one. And I couldn't find it on the list. I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, I don't know what to say about that one. But I think this is such a good one for us. The
Maybe that's why. It's because like I've always been in that period, so I don't think I have advice because I don't know anything different.
Yeah, but that's why you do have advice.
Yeah.
It was basically how to stay happy in a period of singleness. Well, first of all, let me just start by telling you, we've both only really had like one boyfriend, honestly. So we've had a period of singleness for like our whole life. And like even our past boyfriends were years ago. So as far as like staying happy in a period of singleness, going back to literally what I just said, it's your time to figure yourself out and to learn like who you want to become. And I don't know, I'm a huge supporter of singleness. Like as much as a relationship sounds cool, I have found so much of a, for lack of better words, like a thrive in just being single.
Yeah, I mean, you're not tied down to anything, especially with your lifestyle. You're always on the go, so it's nice for you to not have someone kind of pinning you down anywhere.
I'm like, I don't need
anyone you're responsible to or accountable for or whatever.
Yeah, I don't need that right now. But that's how I've learned to enjoy it. I just prioritize other things in my life that are going to benefit me long term, because I'm the only one that I'm going to have for the rest of my life. Boyfriends they're temporary. Whether you want to believe it or not, friends are temporary. People in your life are temporary, but you don't get to choose whether or not you're temporary. Like, you're stuck with you. So find a way to love you and enjoy being with just yourself. And when the right person comes into play, I personally believe it'll be seamless, it'll be simple, and you won't second guess it. But I'm still waiting for that day, let me tell you.
Yeah.
we both are. Anything else you got on the singleness?
No, I mean, I told you from the start. I can't think of anything to...
Well, do you ever find yourself, like, craving a relationship? see the way she just nodded her head.
No, I didn't nod my head. I was like, I mean, well, no, okay, not like craving to where it's like, oh my god, I need it. Yeah, no. I've never felt like that. But
like, is there anything you ever remind yourself, like, when you do feel like that, or it just goes away?
No, it's never that, like, intense.
Okay.
To where I need to, like, remind myself.
Okay, so she thrives in her singleness too, basically. Yeah. We all get a little lonely sometimes and want a little hug. Next one. Oh, I'm giving this one to Lissette. How to be excited for school.
I was so excited to do that one.
I knew you would be. This one's not for me because I'm really bad at being excited for schedules. Basically, the thing is how to be excited for school starting / how to be excited to have a good schedule or something like that.
Okay, so yeah,
this is
as much as like school starting is a drag, 'cause it's okay, summer's over, you have to go back to going to school all day every day, whatever. I get that. I've always felt that way too, but I also was always so excited because it just feels like fresh start to a new year.
New pens and pencils and binders.
No, exactly.
And notebooks.
It was so exciting.
I miss high school.
Yeah, and like, I mean, I always look forward to like my first day of class where you just get to see everybody in your classes. Like you get to, you can meet new people. You see your teachers. Like I always like viewed that as like so exciting. So I think that's something.
Oh, that's so wholesome. Why did you just make me literally want to have a first day of school again? Guys, I'm going back to college.
No. Yeah, no. I think that's just like a good start to start looking at it that way. And if it's assigned seating, even if you have friends in the class and you're not with your friends, like, okay, meet other people. I met so many people in my classes that you can just talk. I don't know. I just think it's fun. And as far as like figuring out a schedule, that's always difficult. I mean, well, just get a calendar, that's for sure. And I mean, most of the times for me, well, in high school, it was easier to keep up because you're going to every single class every day and your teacher is telling you exactly what is due and when and what to do that night. But if you're doing college, I always would buy a calendar every single year and never use it or look back at it. So
yeah, that was tough. College is a little tough because you're
on your own a lot more.
You have to discipline yourself.
Exactly, yeah. There's not someone right in front of you telling you whatever. But I feel like that's really it. Just, it's an exciting thing. It's not a sad thing. It's not a scary thing. It's
actually hype. Like, as far as a high school perspective goes, I can give this one because I did make it through high school. And I love the first day of school. Think about, like, getting to pick out the first week outfits, like, getting to see people in the hallways. Get yourself, if I can give you one piece of advice and you're in high school, I don't know really the demographic. I don't know how many people listen in high school, but I feel like if there's a decent amount, listen to this. Get yourself involved in things at school. Like, it is so fun to be involved, to play a sport, to do cheerleading, to be in a club, to stay after school. When you get involved, you learn that you actually enjoy school a lot more. If you're just going to school to do stupid homework and learn stupid things, obviously you're not going to like school. But if you have to go learn those stupid things, but then you get to go to cheer practice with all your best friends, like, you like it better. And it's also great for college if that's the route you're taking, and it's just fun. And it keeps you busy. And I think it's important to stay busy. That's one thing I'll always say. Stay busy. Alone time, well, I'm about to be a hypocrite. Like, sometimes alone time...
You don't want too much alone time.
You don't want too much alone time because you don't want to get lonely.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was a little... defeated the purpose of what... Anyways, we're going to move on. We're going to leave that at that. How to stay clear-minded and not overwhelmed. Well, this one's... No. Lissette? How do you stay not overwhelmed? Because I am always overwhelmed. It doesn't ever go away. Please share some advice with me.
I mean, there's obviously sometimes that I'm overwhelmed too.
Well,
but
I'm not... Yeah.
I think you just have to figure out what's priority and get that done first. And, well, see, what happens to me is...
yeah, tell them your little system here.
Yeah, I don't get overwhelmed often. But the reason I get overwhelmed...
Just the week before exams.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was going to say.
I can tell you exactly how it goes.
Yeah, the reason I do get overwhelmed is... Or the reason I'm not overwhelmed and very overwhelmed is because I procrastinate everything until 3 days before my exam, 5 hours before my homework's due. So it's like, yeah, I'm just la-di-da-di-da, everything's good. And then it gets to that point and I'm like... Oh my God, why do I keep doing this to myself? I've told Lexi, I was in college for 4 years. Before every single exam, which was I've probably taken over 100 exams, I would text her and be like, I'm so stressed. I'm so overwhelmed. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not going to pass this exam. Like, what am I going to do?
It's literally like clockwork, you guys. I know it's coming. I know it's absurd, actually. Because every semester, the best part is every semester, I'm not going to do it this time. She does it every time.
But my last semester, I finally learned what to do. Well, but this is also with just school though, so, but I feel like the idea of it can be like relatable for other subjects and topics in life. Basically, you just have to do a little bit every day before basically the due date, the breaking point.
Just
like
stay
if
consistent.
if it's overwhelmed in a sense of like depression or anxiety, like do something every day that can help that a little bit, like go outside or pick one thing up in your room or...
Lissette's big on the do something every day.
Yeah, and I don't...
She goes, I don't do something every day. No, but I like that. That's a good way to put it again.
Because I mean, that's how it was for school. It's like, all right, I'm just do a little bit every day, and then by the time the exam came, it was so much easier to study for because I already knew everything. And then also, if it's like, if you're trying to...
Yeah, to shift it into my life, obviously, like, you guys know I'm not doing school right now, but you guys also know I'm juggling a lot of different things that are just kind of going on. And I'll kind of do the same thing, like, especially when it comes to brand deals, for example. Like, I'll have probably a couple weeks to get these big things done for them. And I'll be like, no, it's okay, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. No, I'll do it tomorrow. And then it's like the due day. And I'm like, oh, shoot, I didn't do it. No tomorrow anymore. And I'll get myself super stressed, super overwhelmed. I'm like, how do I get everything perfect for them so that it can be good? I don't know. It just, do something a little bit every day that is just going to keep you focused. And I don't know, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Like I said earlier, everything is happening on its time and on its schedule. And obviously things like school and certain things that aren't avoidable, it's normal to sometimes get stressed and overwhelmed. Yeah. What's not normal is to constantly feel overwhelmed and stressed. So that is what I'm working on. And I think I'm getting better. I have noticed a huge difference, and I have definitely been just being able to balance things a lot better. And I think it's helped just being in my own space. And obviously I'm still all over the place, especially in like the summertime in the past couple months, all over the place. But having a home base where I just come back and I'm like, okay, I'm home for however many days, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to focus, and I'm going to get crap done. That way I can enjoy the next thing that I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And just have a safe place where you know you're productive. That's my piece of advice. That'll help you. Next one is accepting the past. I feel like we can go two different routes with this. Like, I feel like the way I would answer this is different than the way Lissette would answer this, or the way we're thinking about it. I feel like the way you're thinking about it is like letting go of like college, maybe. I don't know. I feel like in a way of like, do you miss school yet? Or I don't know.
Yeah. Well, originally when I wrote that down and you read it, I was thinking it more of the sense of like, read Midnight Library, everything happens for a reason.
Okay, yes. Similar to the same vibe I was going with it. Do you want to go first?
Well, that was really it.
Okay. Moral of the story when it comes to this, you have to read Midnight Library because life-changing book. It's literally what made me read again. So please read that book. If you're going to take anything away from this, first of all, go buy the Moment stuff. Second of all, read this book. But yeah, for me, accepting the past is kind of something cool that I was thinking about actually a couple of weeks ago was, and I'm not sure if I know I haven't done an episode on this, but I've probably talked about it before. I'm going to do it again anyways. Deal with it. You guys know, I've had my struggles in Hawaii. I went through like some really, really hard stuff mentally and just like isolated myself and was just not in a good place. And I had a hard time letting go of that up until recently when I was looking at all the pictures from that time in my life and I see like all my smiling and all my joy and I'm like, okay, so I was pretty happy at some points. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but basically I found a way to hold on to the good memories, and like when I hurt, I've been able to let it go because I've healed from it. So let yourself heal and the hurt will just slowly fade away. Does that make any sense?
Yes, that makes a lot of sense.
And it was just such a cool realization for me when I was looking through all my footage and I'm like, wow, that was a really awesome memory. I met this person, I met that person, I got to do this. Not, I was so depressed, this person did me so dirty. Yeah. I don't think about that anymore. Like, that is the past and it can stay the past. And now we're here, I'm healed, and I got to do all those things. And I found so much beauty in that pain. And it's made me who I am today. So, yeah, peace, love, YOLO. Anyways, moving to the next one?
Yep.
Okay, so it's already been 30 minutes, so we're going to do a couple more, and then I'm going to tell you guys a little bit more about the merch, and then, yeah, talk to you guys next Monday, but we're not there yet. Procrastinating, we kind of already talked to that. You want to talk on applying to college?
Well, I don't have much to put in for that because I only applied to 2 colleges. I didn't get into one, so I went to the other.
I also only applied to colleges that were in my state.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just, well, the reason I did that, though, is because I knew that there was one college I wanted to go to for a long time, and then there was a backup, which was still a great backup. I was both, I was pretty much on and off throughout my life of this college, that college, this college, that college.
Yeah, for example, they were rival schools, and she grew up a UF fan, and I grew up an FSU fan, so I constantly was like, FSU, FSU, FSU. Yeah. And she was constantly, UF, UF, UF.
Yeah, so I still liked both, and so yeah, then I didn't get into UF, and then I went to FSU, and I'm so happy that I didn't get into UF because I met the best people and had the best time of my life ever, and I already miss it so much, but I think it's just, but then, if you're someone who doesn't have that, where
if you're an indecisive person like me, I wasn't, I guess, back when I was applying to college, but I feel like if I were to reapply for college now, back in, anyways, if you're indecisive and you don't know where you want to go, and if you can afford to apply as many places as you can, do it. You never, and then whatever college you end up choosing is going to be the right one for you.
Yeah.
Like Lissette just said, everything is going to put you where you're supposed to be. And yeah, just give it your all. Write a good essay. That's all I gotta say. Write a good essay. I know standardized testing is all super different now, so just write a good essay.
Yeah, and if you know the odds of knowing exactly what you want to do is slim, but if you do, research the colleges, see what's good, what they have to offer, and I feel like that's just the best way to start.
Yeah.
And apply for scholarships. Those never hurt.
And just don't put so much pressure on yourself. Again, where you're supposed to end up is where you're meant to be. Like, Lissette wanted to go to UF so badly, and when she didn't get in, we were all, so sad for her. She was so sad, but you were sad, bro.
Yeah, I was sad, but
FSU ended up being the best 4 years ever.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that she went there, and she had so much fun, and she met the most amazing people who are still in her life, and she still talks to every single day, and just trust it. But moving on. There's a lot of college questions you wrote down.
A lot of people are curious.
A lot of people are curious about college. I'm wondering right now if I should have let Lissette do this because I can tell she made the second half of this list. How to branch out in college when you know no one. Just kind of goes into the idea of always be yourself. Authentically be yourself. And don't get me wrong, there's going to be people that don't like you. There's people that don't like me. There are people that don't like Lissette. Not really Lissette. Everyone, somehow, bro, everyone loves Lissette. I couldn't tell you one person who doesn't like Lissette.
I don't think that's true.
She doesn't get depresso, and everyone likes her. But she is a special case. She is a special breed of human being. I could not compare her to anyone else. She's just Lissette, bro. Anyways.
Probably silently hate me. But
No, definitely not. Lissette's a character. I wish you guys could literally all meet her face to face and get to know her for a month. You'd be like, yeah, you're right. Who is she? Anyways. There's going to be people that don't like you. There's going to be people whose paths don't align with yours. And that's okay. You have to meet those people to know who you actually do want to have surrounding you in your life. If you don't meet people who treat you wrong, you're never going to know how to be treated right. That was in the wrong words. But you get what I'm saying, I hope. Yeah. And just keep being yourself. Don't change for anyone, because if you find yourself changing for people, you're going to lead yourself down a path that you don't like, and then yada, 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 you're going to have to do the whole process over again. So stay yourself. Stay true to who you are, and the right people will come to you.
Yeah.
And just be patient.
The way I perceive this question is a lot different than Lexi.
Oh, yes.
As we said, mine's very different. So I think, hers is more a mental way to, a mental state to put you in.
I'm on a deeper
that.
level of sets, straight up. This is how you meet people.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Literal,
That's
and
what it is.
Deep.
Yeah. So I say, this is how I always have kind of been. Just try to find one person.
Wait, pause. I just think this is so funny because I'm thinking about the school starting one. I was going to answer that one, like, just, I don't remember, but it was not like a get excited for new planners and stuff. It was like a mental way of preparing for school. This is why it's so fun to record with Lissette.
Yeah.
Continue.
So, like, find one person, whether it's through your classes, if it's someone who's your roommate, if you're, like, in a dorm or random roommates, whatever. Try to find one person, and the odds of them maybe knowing someone else.
Shout
you
out
can branch out.
Cavallo.
Exactly.
If
No,
you're listening,
yeah.
we love you.
Yeah, I had a roommate freshman year. I mean, we had mutual friends in high school, but I was never close with her by any means. I didn't have her number. We never talked ever. And I ended up living with her during this first, like, summer session, and then I lived with her.
All 4 years.
Oh, yeah, all 4 years. And what happened was, she was the only person I really knew going to FSU. Like, I knew other people, but not people that I was comfortable reaching out to or hanging out with. So
more like acquaintances.
Yeah. So having her was just literally the best thing ever, because then she knew people, so then we branched out with them, and we had each other to kind of branch out with, even though we didn't know each other that well yet. We just still having each other and meeting new people, it made it so much easier. So no matter how you meet someone, just try to find one person that you click a little, and then branch out with them, do things with them, whether it's just going to Starbucks or going to the library. You can meet people there, however, whatever your interests are. Yeah, whatever your interests are, however you spend your free time, try to do that with other people. And I think it just makes it just is so much easier when you have somebody that you're comfortable with. Obviously, it's easier to walk up to a random stranger when you're with someone versus alone. And
speaking straight from the heart, Lissette, we love it. I'm reading this list, and I'm thinking that what me and Lissette really should do as a podcast episode, DM me if you guys think this is a good idea, a podcast, just moments in college, and talk all about it. And I'll post it, like, right before school's about to start, so, like, probably the Monday after this, and we can just talk about meeting new people. And obviously we both had such different experiences with college, and obviously could apply to a lot of people in different ways. So if you think that's a good idea, which honestly, even if you don't, I think that's a great idea.
I do too.
Especially based on how much advice people wanted on college.
Yeah.
I think
just school starting and there were a lot. I didn't even write them all. I mean, a lot of them were similar, but.
And just balancing everything and figuring out, anyways. We're going to get into that, but I'm going to skip a couple more of the college ones since I do want to do a whole episode on it, and I think that would be great for me and Lissette to do together. I'm going to do one more, and then we're going to talk about some merch, and then we're going to go. Okay, the last one we're going to do is so interesting for me because me and Lissette have always just kind of thought super differently on this, and obviously our lives have taken us in, again, different directions. So it was basically like, how do you choose what path is right for you? And I have always, like, you can ask Lissette, since the day she met me, I've always just been a passion person, like, more of a, I just want to do what I want to do and what makes me happy. And the way that I found my path and just kind of figured out what I want to do with my life, I've come to the understanding that for me it is an ever changing thing. Like, I'm always chasing new paths and always going down different roads, but my long-term goals are always the same. I'm trying to figure out how to put this into words. Basically, I'm someone who is always going to tell everyone that I meet in their lives to figure out what the heck they're super passionate about and find a way to create it and make it your reality. And that being said, sometimes doing it that way takes a lot of, not even extra steps, but just, like, in a way, extra steps. It takes a lot more risk. It's creativity. It's a lot. I guess that's the right word. It's a much bigger risk factor when it comes to figuring out, like, what you want to do. If you're going does this make sense?
Yeah.
Explain your thinking on this, and then I feel like it'll make more sense.
On what you're trying to say?
No. On your, how do you find your path in your
in my eyes? Okay. I think.
And how does it work for you?
Well,
how did you find your path? Let's just start there.
How did I find my path? Well, I was in high school, and my whole life I've always loved math.
I
love math. Like, you don't understand. Like,
no, she gets excited over Excel sheets.
Yeah.
She's a math queen. I'm not a math queen.
Anyways,
I'm an English and a history girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I can be a math queen.
Yeah.
You can do that reaction.
Fine. So I've always loved math. I've always known that, and I wanted to go down the medical path, whatever. Then I got to college. I took biology. Oh, no. hated that so much to where I changed my major. And I knew I loved math. So I was like, you know what? Let me try accounting. And yeah, so that was pretty much my career. And this is going to sound really weird. Like, I feel like not many people can, like, relate to this.
Well,
but I
also
almost
want to know.
get satisfaction in sitting behind a desk and doing tasks. Like, I would get excited doing, like, math. And
She's
so
built for a 9
it's,
to
like,
5,
soothing.
basically.
Yeah, for me, that's what would be soothing. And, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. It just, yeah. It wasn't like there wasn't that much to it in my brain. It's not like for you finding your career path was like this whole like thing, but for me, I was just like, all right,
exactly.
rolling
She's
with it.
simply
Like,
just built like this, you guys. I can't make this stuff up. I cannot make this stuff up. She's just built like this. Like, it's just the way her brain works. I'm so envious of it sometimes, but obviously, we're all different. I gotta accept that I'm just not. Unfortunately, I'm not built like that. But yeah, I think there's just two types of people. I'm person A. Well, yeah, I'm person A, she's person B. Person A is the person who literally never figures out what they want to do with their life, so they just keep like kind of doing new things and making it work and finding a way to include their passion in all of those things. And person B knows what they want to do and they just do it. But I think both are very, very great paths. And there are people who want to sit behind a desk and do tasks, and there are people who literally couldn't imagine that. And that's the beauty of the world. If you didn't have both, there would not be a functioning society. So,
yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Working 9 to 5 for the next 4 years of my life obviously is very intimidating.
Well, she's gonna kill
But,
it. And
yeah.
she likes structure. There's people who like structure and there's people who hate structure.
And routine,
We're just opposites when it comes to that. And it works out well because opposites attract. So that's really, I don't even know if that answered the question or gave you advice, but maybe it gave you some understanding that people are going to want different things than you in life. And sometimes, like, it's not a fun or easy thing to accept. Like, trust me, I wish Lissette wanted to, I don't know, do something that aligned with my path that I want to do, and we could just do it together.
Yeah,
but obviously that's not the case, and that's okay.
Yeah, she's tried letting me help her. It doesn't work out.
Yeah, I've tried. She's built for math. She is CEO of math. I am not. So, anyways, we're starting to ramble. I can't believe it's already been 41 minutes. We're going to end the advice there. I want you guys to know that I am so grateful for you guys, and I am so glad I got to have Lissette back on the podcast, and I'm so glad that I can finally share the moments, things, merch, stuff, whatever clothes with you guys, because it's only going to go up from here, and this is just the start. And if you guys shop, it will actually mean the world to me. You have no idea. I want to see everyone in these pieces, and obviously they're not just going to say moments. There's going to be a couple that do, but I want them all to have just words of encouragement. So, like, if you're wearing this out, I want someone to read that and just, I don't know, shift their mindset for the day. Stuff like that. You guys know the way I think. I don't need to explain myself. You've known me long enough. But I just want to make an impact, and I want moments to make an impact through just a whole community of all of us. Like, this is our little squad, this is our little family, and I want you to rep. And if you order, when your package ships, you're going to get a little moment sticker, and I'm going to continue, you're going to see this all over my TikTok and all over my story. You're going to get a moment sticker, and I want you to put that sticker somewhere in your hometown, like on a stop sign or on a wall that has other stickers. I want you to put it somewhere, and I want you to send me a picture of it or tag me, or actually what I really want, if you guys want, is to take a video of you placing it on that wall and send it to me. I want to make a whole compilation of all the videos, and just kind of, I want to get moments around the globe. So
I think
shipping's going to be international, and anytime I've ever sold something before, it hasn't been international. So this is a huge adjustment, shift, exciting time in my life. And I don't know, just if you want to rep, go rep. And the best part is this stuff's cute. Like, it's actually so cute. And I've been working on it for a while, and it's been gone through so many different designers and ideas and rough drafts, and it's finally happening. And this is only the beginning. I want to do a drop every few months. It's going to be limited, so buy it now. It's not going to be there forever. And I love you guys, and I'm grateful. And go buy your Moments merch, please. And yeah, just I'm grateful, and I love you. That's really the only words I have to describe right now. I'm hyped. And that's all I got. I'm trying to think of more things to say, and I have nothing. It's already been 44 minutes, so we're going to cut this here. I love you. I'll talk to you next Monday.